Packers play the Niners. And I'm not going to break down the game, but something is very obvious to me. Trey Lance, who from an FCS program already looks better than Jordan Love, who's been there 3 years. And I don't know how good Trey Lance is going to be. I thought he showed some pocket awareness. He had a big play. And I don't know what Jordan Love's going to be, but 3 years in, I don't see the growth. But here's what I know. Kyle Shanahan, over and over and over and over and over. If you give Kyle Shanahan third-round guys, fifth-round guys, sixth-round guys, they become stars really fast. Elijah Mitchell, running back, sixth-round, pow. Danny Gray, I watched him this weekend, third-round, pow. Trey Lance looked pretty good to me. Brandon Ayuk, second year, emerging star at receiver. Deebo Samuel, second round, star. George Kittle, fifth round, star. Offensive line, they found another guy apparently. Year after year, player after player, offense after offense, quarterback after quarterback, Kyle Shanahan creates an identity and guys pop. You just give him the pieces. They can be in the fifth and sixth round. He'll make them into stars. Let me ask you. Let's talk Green Bay and Matt LaFleur. Year 3, first-round pick Jordan Love. I don't see it. Offensive line last year for Green Bay and Matt LaFleur. Ranked 14th, the lowest in years. They haven't developed a number 2 wide receiver. I'd argue they don't have a number 3 wide receiver. They had to go get Sammy Watkins. Again, just because you're given Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and David Bakhtiari does not mean you're a great coach. I have watched San Francisco work Green Bay in the last couple years. I have watched Matt LaFleur's offense, and he's an offensive guy, and he had the back-to-back MVP. I have watched Matt LaFleur in Green Bay melt down at home, second half, fourth quarter, back-to-back years. I always feel like Kyle Shanahan's taking sixth-rounders and third-rounders and Jimmy Garoppolo and like elevating them to a place they probably don't deserve. So what's the identity? Do you know since Matt LaFleur showed up with Aaron Rodgers, with Devontae Adams, with David Bakhtiari, and better than average O-lines, do you know what their offense ranks in the NFL? 13th. I'm watching Jordan Love, and I'm like, I'm 3 years in, folks. I still don't like his accuracy, and I don't like his judgment. He had one really bad pick. I don't see the wide receiver. I hear they drafted a good one. All right, develop him. That's the front office. Develop him. I mean, Elijah Mitchell's a 6th-round pick. That guy, when he's healthy, he's a dog for San Francisco. Deebo, Ayuk, Kittle, offensive linemen, they all work. They all work in San Francisco. I mean, here's another guy. So Shanahan, LaFleur, and Sean McVay are considered, the 3 guys, right? The 3 young guys. Sean McVay turned Cooper Kupp, a third-rounder, into the NFL's most productive wide receiver ever. He got Jared Goff to a Super Bowl, and he has built a culture in Los Angeles where everybody wants to play there. OBJ wants to play there. Matt Stafford picked it. By the way, he saved OBJ. OBJ's career was on the rocks. He goes to Sean McVay, overnight pops. So, I mean, congrats on beating the Lions, the Bears, and Minnesota, but they've all fired coaches since Matt LaFleur got there. And I'm not anti-Matt LaFleur, but Shanahan, McVay, and LaFleur, they all take over teams. The Niners were a mess when Shanahan got there. They're not a mess anymore. The Rams were an absolute mess when Sean McVay got there. He's got 2 Super Bowl trips. And Green Bay was rolling. I mean, let's be honest. McCarthy's last year stunk. But by and large, Favre and Aaron Rodgers have been like the Rolls Royce, in the NFC of quarterbacks. And I look at Green Bay right now, and I'm like, what are they? I don't see it with Jordan Love. Do you see it with Jordan Love? I mean, I watched Trey Lance. I'm like, all right, he's a lot better than he was last year. Now, he only had, his second series was his best, but he had a really good pocket awareness. Forget just to throw up the sideline. I thought he looked really comfortable. Jordan Love, I still don't feel that. All right, let's move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, my feeling is they have the 4th best quarterback in their division. Deshaun Watson, whether he plays or not, Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson are all really good quarterbacks. Different styles, but they're all really, really talented. And Kenny Pickett has got to beat out Mitch Trubisky and Mason Rudolph. And If it's close, I'd go with Kenny Pickett. I like Trubisky's fine. He's a bridge quarterback. But I watched Kenny Pickett, and I got to be honest. He looked composed. He was in control. He was comfortable. And I watched Daniel Jones of the Giants, and I still feel he looks nervous. He looks anxious. So I still don't think Jordan Love is that accurate. I thought Kenny Pickett, I got to be honest, had you never heard of Kenny Pickett, and that was the first time you ever watched him play, you'd have no idea that was his first time in the NFL. Now, he played in this stadium in college, and he got a bunch of starts. He got a lot of starts in college, so maybe that's part of it. But, I mean, he may have a very low ceiling, but so does Trubisky, and so does Mason Rudolph. So, and I will say, I mean, has there ever been an organization, I swear to God, the Pittsburgh Steelers draft wide receiver better than everybody. I mean, New England can't draft it to save their life. I always feel like the Colts need 2 or 3 more receivers. They got George Pickett, who looks like a star, and Tyler Vaughn from USC. He may make the team. He had a game-winning touchdown. But I watched Kenny Pickett, and I'm like, this is why quarterback is hard to figure out. He looked really comfortable, and he looked really poised, and he got that ball with about a minute 40 left, and he drove down the field, and I'm like, is it because he got a bunch of college starts, and that's the stadium he played in, and, you know, he's been in the stadium. It's his city. He knows it well. He knows the ways around town. That could absolutely be it, and Pittsburgh does an unbelievable job. But starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers and getting your first action, Mike Tomlin is an intimidating presence. You can't deny that. Mike is a big, intimidating presence. The Steelers are one of the great brands in the NFL. The fans were going crazy. It felt like a regular season game. And I watched Kenny Pickett, and I was like, I don't really see the it quality there. But I was like, all right, that's pretty good. That's pretty comfortable. Sometimes when you watch these young quarterbacks, the thing I really look for, do they look like they belong? I mean, you're not going to be able to tell for a lot of guys, right? Like some guys short, some guys run. Do they feel like they belong? And I looked at Kenny Pickett, and I'm like, well, he's got a low ceiling maybe, but he felt like he did. So that's good news for Pittsburgh. Now, do I think in his rookie year he'd be better than Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Deshaun Watson? No, and he may never be. But, boy, I'm looking at Mason Rudolph, Mitch Trubisky, and Kenny Pickett. I got to be honest with you. They may all have a low ceiling. I'm not sure I wouldn't go with a kid. I mean, it's one sample. But I don't know. You saw it. I saw it. Easy thrower, comfortable, accurate, a lot of college starts. I think I might roll with him. I really do. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.